Welcome back, guys. We are in our final match. It's time to find out if Bravo has it in him to defeat Leenock this time, because last time Leenock took him out with some very aggressive builds in Game 2 and 3. The only map that Bravo was able to take was a really long mech game, where he basically just made a bunch of Thors and defended against Vitalisks, which Leenock was never really able to switch out of. Yeah, well, Leenock also made some very interesting choices that were a bit questionable. He was a very one-trick pony in that series. But now we have Habitation Station again, and that was the last map in the last best of 3 that they played against each other. William decided to go into an Idas play with Roaches, and Bravo completely didn't expect it. He also started to play a bio style. I mean, game number 1 that Bravo played today against Leenock, we saw him meching it up. And let's see what exactly he's going to do this time. He's definitely going to scout his main base and he's going to try to be a little bit more aware of what Leenock is going to do there. Yeah, I think he definitely might want to consider dropping a scan. He scanned against Flash a lot in that TVT, using a lot of his command center energy to identify what Flash was up to. And we saw him go into double Reapers against Leenock and then not really see what Leenock was doing with his gas. I think he's going to be a little bit more diligent about that this game. Or in this series in general, not even necessarily on our very first map, which is Habitation Station, where he lost game number 3. Yep. I want to see what Leenock is going to do. If he once again sticks it out with his 2-base into layer style and then the usual mute attack, or in the last game that we saw, of course, the Nidus change that he had there. But let's see what's going to happen here. It's the last best of 3 of the day, ladies and gentlemen. Bravo versus Leenock. The GSL Code S with Colin Wolf.
Leenock versus Bravo.
The Leenock to the top right of Habitation Station. And the last best of 3 that we have today in Group C here. And, well, this is Leenock, currently teamless, looking for a new team and hoping to go to Code S. To the top left we have his opponent. He was just able to take down Flash. It is Bravo. He's going up against Leenock for the 2nd time today.
Yep, this is both of these players' last chance. They both dropped 1 best of 3. Were able to battle their way back to this final match. And only time will tell what builds we're going to see. You talked about it a little bit before. You think this map is good for mech. You've seen it before. And this is a map where Bravo actually did not mech on. He went into bio, but then still died because he wasn't able to identify what was coming. The Nidus dropped Roaches out not only into his main base, but at the natural as well. Do you think he's going to go for the same bio build again, try to just say, all right, let's clean slate, let's go back into the normal game that we had before? Or do you think he's actually going to switch it up and go mech this time?
I would assume that he's going to play the style that he played the last time, just going to scout a little bit more to find out what Leenock is going to do so that he doesn't run into the same trap again. He
goes CC first. I think on the 3rd game last time he went double Reaper again. This time he goes CC first, so a little bit of a change.
The thing is, what we saw in the last time that I played this map, I think it was Bravo's choice to play on Habitation Station. So I would assume that he has a build that he wants to play on this map in particular, or that he likes this map for some reason. So I would be surprised if he actually changes his style from bio to mech, because usually you play like once, or you prefer one style on a particular map, and that's why he chose the map.
Yeah.
So that's why I think he's going to go for bio again.
And he didn't like show anything special to Leenock in the other game where it makes it seem like he should switch things up to try to throw him off.
Yeah, well, the one thing that I really expect from this series is that we are going to see a much more, crisper play from both of them, because the last time that they faced each other was also the first time that they played today, and there were a lot of things in the builds from both players that were a little bit awkward. Game 2, where Bravo didn't really think about potential Mutalist play, where he was just completely surprised by them, even though he scouted the lair, and that there was no 3rd base. Leenock with a few decisions in game number 1. It just looked a little bit like the first game today. Maybe they were a little bit nervous there, maybe they were just not warmed up yet. For Bravo, it was probably also a little bit of adjustment, because it's the first time that he actually plays in the studio here. So I think now that it's the last best of 3 series of the day, and that they already faced each other and know that they were basically on this series on eye level, especially with Bravo carrying this momentum from his victory over Flash into the series, we're going to see both of them on a different level than the first best of 3.
Yeah, I think so too.
That's at least my personal expectation. I would love to see both of them stepping it up a little bit.
I would love to see that as well. I also want to see Bravo versus Leenock mech again, at least once, whether it's this game or not. just because I want to see how it plays out differently.
Yeah, I want to see it again just because I would love for Leenock to go down a different path.
Yeah. You know, maybe even using roach aggression as a different option instead of using the Mutalisk there. And he started with the Mutas because his plan from the beginning, before he even identified mech, was to go 2-base Muta.
The thing is, like, even in that game, if you go Mutalisk, then I feel once you identify what's happening, you have to start a different upgrade pattern. In the end, he started a double Spire for double upgrades. If he really wants to heavy commit to Lair, which he did, he's like transitioned very late into Hive, then he can make that double Spire even faster. And another thing that he could have done, we talked about this in the last game, was go into the armor upgrades first. But right now we don't really see that. We have for Bravo another base taken, and the same is also true for Leenock, who this time doesn't go towards the right side of the map in the center. He takes that gold base that we talked about so often.
And Bravo is playing totally blind, as Heaven showed us earlier. He has not scouted at all. And this Overlord does get chased away. And second Overlord comes in to scout, and he doesn't see the third command center. He has no idea. He will also see, this time though, the Tech Lab researching stim. It's a Marauder that comes out, which I think is just a safety Marauder because he knows that if he gets attacked by something he hasn't even scouted, he's going to need that.
Sees the, well, he saw the third CC already, so he knows about everything that's currently happening in Bravo space. And he doesn't know about the Marauder, but as you already said, the one Marauder at the beginning helps you quite a lot if you are faced with a Roach push, and he doesn't really commit to additional Marauders just yet. It's not going to be a Hellion Marauder play, which we've actually seen just, I think, 1 day ago or 2 days ago. So it's going to be more of a normal style here for him, adding those additional production structures right now. But it's going to help him quite a lot to have that early third CC. And Leenock, of course, with the gold base, is going to be quite happy with his income. And that is something that Bravo has to not only see, but he has to contest that.
Yeah, he does. Burrow started for a second and then canceled. He puts that away right away. The Hellion's just pressuring here a little bit. And, I mean, attacking the gold base with these Hellions could be something he tries to go for. I mean, the Queens are the creep isn't connected quite yet. And if he lets this gold base go, that income is really going to start to affect how Bravo's game gets played out. He only has one drone there right now, a few Lings there, ready for the fence, and now the Queens have actually moved past that ramp, so it's a little bit tougher to actually get the Hellions in there.
On the other hand, he gets his own gold base now too,
True.
So that kind of makes up for it again.
And since he has control of the watchtower, and he is pushing that creep back, he can feel pretty comfortable taking that gold base of his own, because there's not a whole lot of harass Leenock could do right now.
Both of them are going for the double upgrades now, and for Leenock we have the upgrades for the melee units, which you would expect here, unless you start something like crazy. But for now, the Baneling Nest is coming into play. We have 3 bases for him. Widow Mines are starting to take a bit control over the map at crucial points to make sure that circling run-bys are going to run into a bit of a trap here. And at the same time, Leenock with 5 Queens can now aggressively start to really spread his creep out. It's also great for defense later on. If he really goes for a Hive tech with Ultralisk in the late game, he can use those Queens and maybe a few additional ones to keep the Ultralisk alive with Transfusers. But for now, it's of course going to be Ling Muta Baneling, which we already can identify with all the upgrades that we see on the production tab. And also the Burrow that you mentioned before. Yeah. He restarted it.
He starts it back. Leenock's known for his Baneling Burrow mines that he uses his Mutalisk to bait Marines into the landmines and then kill them. This is a cool little position for Bravo. He's going to actually pick off this Overlord. Doesn't have any high ground vision, on the other hand, to start harassing, but he's got the control of the Watchtower, and he's always ready to start harassing that creep. If he drops a scan, he can push it back, and he's trying to eliminate Leenock's ability to harass his own gold base. Worker count is pretty even here, and with the gold base, this is a great economy for Bravo. He doesn't get any extra benefit from those mules. Now he's got that high ground vision, and he's got to be careful here with his Hellions.
Yeah, high ground vision is there on the ground. The Queens are being attacked, and the first Queen is already gone. The one thing that we could see here, I would really like him to see maybe a few Widow Mines drop onto the high ground.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That can give him so much. Bravo is just letting his units die here a little bit. That was a bit sloppy, but he did a decent amount of damage. What he wanted to do, I think, was to keep the Hellions on the low ground, shooting the Zerlings that were on the high ground, so he could get some good shots off, but he fought the Queens instead, which he did kill one of.
Yeah, he killed one of the Queens, and the problem was that he had the chance to pick up with the Medivacs, and he didn't do it. He could have evacuated the Marines there, and also the Hellions that were dying. Now we have the Mutalisks coming into play for Leenock, starting with that Ling Muta Baneling composition and adding the third part. The Baneling landmines that we talked about earlier are already in position, but so far not being used. Once again, Leenock is running in with Lings and Banelings, and no pickup here. Those Hellions go down,
This is
and
a
also,
great
of course,
trade.
the Marauders.
He's actually pushing his way through here, and what he's doing.
Well, the Mutalisks are suddenly exposed.
Yeah, and well, he doesn't have enough Marines here, but he's trying to get a few over, and Leenock is just waiting for those traps to go off, but he hasn't found a good opportunity. Bravo now pushed all the way back, but his Marines will push this this Mutalisk force away. Bravo is up in Harvesters right now, which is not ideal for Zerg. Leenock is taking that 4th base, and Bravo has basically set up a wall for his 4th base later on when he takes that. And oh, what is Leenock doing? He's not paying attention to his Mutas here.
Yeah, I lost one. That could have been worse. That could really have been worse. He could have lost a lot more than that.
But I mean, oh no! Oh, that could have been better if he had clicked it just a little bit faster.
That was a really nice move here by Bravo, even though he was a little bit lucky.
It was definitely lucky,
It
but it works out for him.
It works out for him, yeah, exactly. That's true. Leenock a little bit too fast on the trigger here, and didn't get a whole lot of hits there with those 2 Banelings, so unfortunate for him. Lucky for Bravo. He's going to be happy about that, and at this point in time, he has the better army. He has a pretty decent tech into +2/+2. Great timing here for him as well.
This is a good engagement for Bravo, because Leenock is trying to fight into this concave. Doesn't have enough units. Banelings fall apart here. And look at the supply. He's taken a massive lead in army supply, and he still has that better economy. Leenock is really trying to survive here at this point. A run-by is going to be shut down by reinforcements.
On the base. Leenock already gave up on his gold base, and suddenly it is really Bravo coiling the shots here. He's nearly doubling his opponent's army supply. The the Mutalisks are going in and trying to take down the last few anti-air units. The Marines are being sniped, and now it's time for the Medivacs to die. If he can take those out, that would be a big win for him. This is all really gas-intensive units that we currently see for Bravo taken out by the Mutalisks.
Yeah. You know, what Bravo has basically been trying to do this whole game is attack the base that's close to him by using his high ground vision and his ranged units, and knowing the fact that Leenock's units are mostly, until the Mutalisks were out especially, all melee units, so he could just avoid fight on his terms off creep, because the creep was never spread down here to this area.
That composition for Bravo is just going to be incredible. He has already Blue Flame and nearly done with the research.
2-2 done.
Hellbats against the Zerglings on the ground. We also see a Thor against the Mutalisk. The +3 attack upgrade has been started. He currently has the timing window that we were talking about earlier, where he can attack with a huge upgrade lead over his opponent. So Bravo is in a really good spot here. And once more, Leenock is moving in, trying to snipe 1 or 2 units, but he's losing Mutalisks in the process.
Don't forget, Bravo has a 4th base now, and he's sending his SCVs over there to mine. He's got a nice wall set up, and he's just constantly attacking, knowing Leenock's base is close and it's attackable by range. And Leenock is trying to find an opening, always, with his Mutalisks, but it's just, he tries to pick up a unit here, tries to pick up a unit there, but he just loses too much every time.
That drop at the bottom that comes in, the double Medivac, is so good. That's so smart, because currently the entire intention of Leenock is focused to the top of the map, where he's trying to keep his base alive. And now the double drop comes in at the base to the right center of the map, and suddenly he has no units over there. He has to retreat, but he's losing everything, and GG. Bravo wins game number 1.
Constant momentum, always aggressive, never losing that momentum, always controlling the watchtower. Leenock takes a 3rd base, so does he. But he attacks Leenock's 3rd base aggressively, constantly, using his Medivacs for vision, using them for dropping units, and every time the units come to the high ground, he gets his units on the low ground to do damage. Leenock had a few unlucky moments, losing the Mutalisks there and having a bit of problems with his control, and then that one Baneling landmine that almost got the greatest shot ever on those Marines did not actually go off the way he wanted it to. With these little things, like not controlling his Mutalisks and the landmines, are just one small part of why he lost. It was really Bravo's win, just with his constant aggression. I feel like it wasn't Leenock's mistake so much as it was the brilliant execution from Bravo, just constantly attacking, and that's how you wear a Zerg player down. He even always had the better economy, plus the gold base.
Leenock lost the first game, the first best-of-3 series too, but now Bravo is playing a lot better. He is getting he's getting stronger.
He's got this momentum off of beating Flash, you know, in a TVT.
I'm impressed here. I did not expect him to do this well today. I really thought that he would be the one player that would have the toughest time in the group, but now he is 1 map win away from going to Code S. And I did certainly not expect that, especially not with players like Flash, Leenock, and Yonghwa in the same group. So Bravo really can impress here, and Leenock, he needs to win 2 in a row. Once again, he did it before. Can he pull it off a second time? And that's what we're going to find out right now. There's a lot of pressure on him, as we said before. He's currently teamless, so he wants to have this victory. Bravo really focusing now on the next game. It's Daedalus Point. Once again, the map choice of Leenock. That was also the case in the first best-of-3 series.
Yep. And he was able to win it. See if Bravo... I mean, we basically have a so far a repeat situation with scores, and the maps are different, of course, but the second map here being the same. Like you said, it feels like Bravo's building some momentum. It seems like he's just strengthening himself. He's not sweating in the booth anymore. He looks, I don't want to go as far as say he looks confident, but he looks serious. And Leenock on his last legs here. If he loses one more map, it's all over for him. He'll drop the Code B. He's teamless. Let's see if he can tie things up on Daedalus point. This is the GSL Code A with Outer and